Welcome to Mainland, your local regional television station. I'm Graham O'Brien and some of the stories coming up in today's news. Police cordon off roads, an armed call-out, Bull cave system cause for excitement, and photo expert talks preservation. Tasman Bay Police responded to an anonymous phone call on Wednesday saying that a firearm was involved in an incident at an address in Riwaka around midday. Cordons were put in place in the Imakuri Road and Swamp Road area around 12:30 until Armed Defenders Squad members were able to respond. The public were asked to avoid using the roads and to use alternative routes. When Mainland arrived at the scene around 2 o'clock, police were still arriving and the road cordons were in place. Residents wanting to go home on Imakuri Road were left waiting near the road cordon, with some who had phoned friends and family in the area to warn them to lay low. Brooklyn School had also been placed on lockdown, while parents on their way to collect their children from school were told by police to drive the long way around via West Bank Road. Police finally cleared the house where the incident was reported to have happened, finding no firearms. Senior Sergeant Blair Hall said police have not found any information to substantiate the initial call and inquiries into the matter are continuing. This week we went to the museum's research facility in Stoke to find out about some of the things that go on there. I caught up with Collections Manager of Photographs, Daryl Gallagher, who told us about the glass plate images held at the facility. Daryl, what part do you play in the museum here?
Well, I'm the manager of the photographic collection. That basically means that it's my role to both preserve the photographic items in this collection, and that's in terms of both the access to them, so the intellectual property about those items, but also physically. I actually physically store and protect those items. But there's another side to that role, and the other aspect of my role is actually to facilitate access to that collection. So that's to make sure that people can access these photographs and do so in an ethical way.
Great. And what's this part of the museum here that we're standing in?
Right, so this is actually the research area where the public can actually come in and access the collection. So it's not the only way that they can access the collection. There's actually two ways they can do that. So the first way is online, through our collections online. They can find that through our website and go straight to our collections online and do a search of our items there. I think we've got about just over 70,000 objects from our collection that they can actually search through there. But what we actually have here and where we're standing is the actual physical photographic prints that they can actually come and look at. Not everyone's au fait with computers, and for some people, the photographs are the actual photographs, the prints that we've run off over time.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. And if people do want to come and use this facility for research, how can it make it easier for themselves and for you to help them?
Right, so I guess a little bit of preparation would make it much easier for the person to come in. So the first thing I'd actually recommend people do is to get online if they can, just to sort of gather an idea of just exactly what they might be looking for, but also depending on what they want to research. If they're looking for family members, perhaps come with a list of names that they actually want to have a look at. They might be looking for subject matter, so if they're looking for ships and maritime history, if you could come in with a list of those names, that makes it handy too. But the way that the photo file boxes, the physical photos that we've actually got are actually arranged, both in terms of subject matter and in location. And we've got a handy little location map too that they can consult and have a look there. So if they can come in with an idea of the location that these things are actually in that they're looking for, and as I mentioned before, also subject names.
Okay, Daryl, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on here, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what you're seeing here is a project that's actually been going since about 2010. So the idea is to actually get all these thousands of glass plate negatives that we've actually had in wooden shelving and actually get them into proper acid-free brand new metal cabinets. So what we've got the guys doing here is they're actually working their way through this collection. They're entering a bit of information about it as they go along. Then they're actually photographing it and digitising it in the process.
Well, is it a long process there?
Well, it's been a substantial process. So As I mentioned, it's been going since about 2010. They've actually digitised about 130 odd thousand of these glass plate negatives out of an estimated 160 odd thousand. So they're over 80% of the way.
And it doesn't look like something you can just set up in your backyard. It must cost a pretty penny. How have you managed to fund that?
Absolutely. So the funding behind this has come from a lotteries board grant, and we've also been fortunate to have some private donors backing us as well.
And just like photographing one piece, does it quite take a long time just to do one piece of work?
What we've actually done is we've actually researched how to get a really good flow on. So a bit of background work went into this project. Originally we anticipated doing it with scanners, but we actually worked out that the best way to do it is actually to use a full frame digital SLR camera and do them one by one like that. So there's a reasonable rate that we're actually kicking through in these, and if you can do the math, 130 odd thousand, and I think the continuous work that's gone into it accumulates to about 4.25 years worth.
This week, Chrissy Small caught up with caver Kieran Mackay, who is over from Tākaka running a course for Army officers. Mainland has been following Kieran's caving adventures around our region, and Chrissy asked him where things are at with the Bulmer cave system on Mount Owen in the Kahurangi National Park.
Kieran Mackay, you've been exploring the cave systems. Your latest discovery?
Oh yeah, up on northern part of Mount Owen. Far out, we had such an amazing time up there. The weather was just blessed with such incredible weather. We had 2 weeks, we were just baked in the hot sunshine. Of course, you're not in the sunshine too much, we're going underground. And the whole concept was to go and try and find the cave that sits between Bulmer and Broad Creek. And we explored about 9 caves, and 5 of them were actually still wide open and going at the end of them. So for us, that was really exciting. So the caves we explored are no deeper than about 300 metres. And the original explorers got down to an obstacle. In each cave, they got to an obstacle. And some of those obstacles were tight passages. Some were underwater passages. And some were actually just digs. We had to dig stuff out. So we wanted to go back to those and have a look. So in 2 of the caves, we thought we were going to need diving gear. One of them, there was no water at all, so we just walked straight through and into a continuation of the cave, which was pretty incredible. Yeah, even though we carried diving gear down there, we got there and went, oh, the water's gone. The rest of the crew were going, Kieran, there's no water, you made us carry diving gear. But we thought it was a pretty hard case. We had to do lots of digging in that cave, but it's still going really well. Another cave, again, we thought we were going to have to dive it, but the water's so low there's an airspace, and we got through the airspace and found lots of big passages on the far side. And again, that's still wide open and still going. Another one, the 3rd cave, there was definitely a dive at the bottom, and the dive was spectacular. It was normally when you get to the bottom of these caves, there's tiny wee passages to dive through. This was just a railway tunnel. It was beautiful. Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. But being in a wetsuit, it was very cold. Small bottles, so it's freezing cold. I only went out 70 metres, and I thought, no, this is a big project. We'll come back for this one, and it's really exciting. And in that cave too, there's lots of dry passages still going as well. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So look, could this turn into a tourist venture, do you think, at some stage? I mean, I guess cavers from all over the world must be watching what you're doing here.
Yeah, I think it's, from a caving perspective, it's really exciting. Yeah, and I think from a national perspective, I think people are interested, but I think they look at it and go, man, you're a bunch of nutters, we're not going to do that. Which in a way is quite cool. It's quite neat to be doing something that's a little bit out there and on the edge. I don't ever think it'll become some sort of big tourist venture, which is fine. That's good. We're not in it to find a tourist cave. Yeah, but it's nice to know. I think people get quite excited to know that there's actual real exploration happening right on their back doorstep. Yeah, but they would never go and do it themselves.
No. So, okay, so have we found a bigger cave system yet?
Not yet, no, but I think we're just on the verge. Yeah, and our last expedition, we did actually achieve everything we set out to achieve. We went and checked these caves, got beyond the obstacles that stopped the previous explorers, and the stuff's still going. So we're pretty confident that we're going to walk into something pretty major on the next trip.
Now, Kieran, you're documenting all this, aren't you?
Yeah. So the whole crew is right into making sure we've got lots of video footage, and we're actually going to make a documentary for the Wanaka Mountain Film Festival. Now, we had a documentary in there a couple of years ago, and people seem to really enjoy it. And I think it was last year, there's another documentary about caving, people loved that. So I thought, let's just do another one. So yeah, we're really excited about getting that completed as well.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds exciting, and of course you'll have to give us a bit of a preview here at Mainland.
Oh, we will. Yes, we'll give you a bit of a sneak preview. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to that. Yeah.
The Trafalgar Centre in its heyday had audiences upwards of 5,000 people attending indoor events before a change in health and safety laws saw that number greatly reduced to 3,500. Now it seems that the new audience capacity is for a total of 2,800. Opus, the company overseeing the upgrade, would not comment, and the staff member at Sport Tasman who Mainland was referred to was unavailable for comment at this time. Nelson ratepayers may question, was it worth the cost of this latest revamp to end up with a venue with less capacity than before in a region whose population is growing? Statistics New Zealand figures suggest that Nelson's population is projected to be 51,200 people and Tasman's will be 53,900 by 2031. Chrissy Small spoke to former City Councillor and Nelson ratepayer Kerry Neal about the venue's capacity in the past.
Kerry, look, Trafalgar Centre, of course, you've been following that very closely for a great many years, even since while you were a councillor.
Exactly. Yeah.
But look, my concern is, and I think it would be most ratepayers' concerns, is Nelson is requiring a big venue. We need a big venue because a lot of shows pass us by. We just don't get the seating that we need for promoters to actually see us as a viable option. My concern is now the Trafalgar Centre, all this revamping and re-strengthening, what's that cost in seating?
Well, as we understand, we were able to get roughly 3,500 to 4,000 before all this nonsense started.
With some rumours of 5,000
Oh, well,
capacity.
we had 5,000 in there about 30 years ago. The authorities may have frowned a little bit, but officially it has been able to accommodate somewhere between 3,500 and 4,000 depending on the seats available for people to sit down. We understand now that that's going to be reduced to 2,800, which is 700 to 1,000 less than we had before. And the question is why, and that's what you want to ask, I know. I can't answer that, but the community needs to ask it very loudly and very strongly. After spending 13 million plus, we have a reduction of approximately 1,000 people able to use the hall.
That it will impact for promoters. That's going to impact greatly. It'll mean increased ticket prices for people wanting to see shows, and possibly having to go to Christchurch or Wellington or Auckland to see shows that will bypass us now because of that. Yeah. Nelson has a glut. Well, we get it. We've got the School of Music, we've got the Theatre Royal. Now those
school
venues, school halls,
yeah.
But we've got the Trafalgar Centre. Really was the only hope of giving us a decent sized venue.
The 3,500 to 4,000 was pretty good, even on a national scale. But the 28 will severely restrict the use of that place.
Right.
So it's a very sad story. I happen to know that the people responsible for all this are being approached right now by a citizen to find out what the facts are. We may be wrong. Let them tell us whether we are or not. But I believe we're right, that there will be that reduction. And these councillors that have allowed this to happen need to be called to account. And the best way is to make sure they don't get voted back in.
So, Kerry, basically all that's missing on the Trafalgar Centre really is a trunk, because then it'll become the big white elephant.
I wondered where you were going. I thought I won't be able to handle this question. Yeah, very clever, very good. Yeah, yeah. Well, you're not wrong actually. It's sad that they've spent so much money over the last 10 years, and we're still in a mess. Because it's not over, because they haven't, as I understand it, resolved what they're going to do with the northern end yet entirely.
Yeah. Well, we've got
and we've lost our very, very valuable and appropriately sized victory room.
That to me, I have no understanding for, because that was probably used far more than the actual stadium part of the building.
There's no question. The figures prove that from the manager. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, that's where we are. It's up to the people now to get serious about this coming election, and put the heat on all those that are responsible for this. And councillors have got to stop taking big incomes out of us to sit round there and protect all this irresponsible behaviour.
It was announced on national radio in an interview with Nelson Mayor Rachel Reese that there's likely to be an add-on to the Trafalgar Centre with a proposed 1,000+ seat theatre. We asked people in Nelson what they think of this latest update on the Trafalgar Centre upgrade.
I don't know much about it either, so if someone else who knows hopefully is making good decisions.
Yeah, well, it's good that they're fixing it all up, and it will be handy, for the community. We can hold a lot more shows, so it'll be good.
I think potentially there's a lot of good that can come from that. You might bring in shows that might not otherwise be able to make it here, and then we won't have to travel to Wellington or down to Christchurch to see good entertainment.
Organisers of a Give a Little campaign to purchase a property on the Arawa Inlet are chuffed that very few of the donators defaulted on their pledges of funding. Campaign organiser Dwayne Major said that 99% of the crowd-funded pledges to purchase Arawa Beach have pulled through. The final tally came to light last Saturday, with the total reaching $2,259,923.21. Dwayne said it's been an overwhelming response full of integrity. People have put their money where their mouth is. The campaigners and their lawyers will be moving the property out of private ownership later this week to transfer ownership into the specially created Arawa Beach Property Trust. And finally for today, a two-car accident has occurred on Thursday afternoon on the intersection of Takaka Hill and Rewalker Valley Highway. A Motueka police car was sent to the scene. Further details on the accident were not available at the time of going to air. After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Hi there, Julian Toon, Waimea Telecommunications. We install and maintain domestic and commercial satellite TV, UHF Freeview and Mainland TV installations in the Nelson, Tasman regions. We specialise in Panasonic telephone systems and provide communications, Wi-Fi, IT and wiring for internet, fibre, computers and DSL systems. At Waimea Telecommunications, we also provide specialist electronic systems for features such as a security camera you can watch on your TV, visitor alert systems and much more. Improve your security and communication and entertainment today. Call us on Waimea Telecommunications on 021 472297. ytel.co.nz.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables and much, much more. JCar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Welcome me hearties to Smuggler's Pub and Cafe, famous for hearty meals, craft ales and a friendly service way. Sensational seasonal menus with meals all day and evening too, or sail in for a snack with special menus for young smugglers and you. Settle in for a jolly old time, relax and enjoy our award-winning dining and lovely fine wine. Decked out in an old worldly way, we're open 7 days. Book or come on in to 8 Muritai Street, not far from a beach, walk or swim. Phone 546408.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing manufacturing options and local after-sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Nelson Tire Center. Great prices, great service. Buy your own Bryford trailer. All types, all sizes. See Colin Douglas for your tires and batteries.
Sit and Be Fit is on at the Victory Community Centre Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. at the Victory Community Church, 238 Upper Vanguard Street. School terms only. Fun while you get fitter, work at your level.
Victory 60 Plus is on Tuesdays at 1:30 through to 3:30 p.m. at 238 Upper Vanguard Street. You can join in for cards, games and a cuppa.
On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
Welcome to Smugglers Pub and Cafe, open 7 days a week with free parking all day. Our lunch menus have that fat old-fashioned flavour where we treat you like treasure with the food you'll savour.
We cater for children, grannies and granddads too, with special rates and privileges given to the elderly lunchtime crew. Our staff are friendly and kind and want to see you all come back time after time.
Daytime or evening, it doesn't matter. Give us a call on 546 4084 and we'll be happy to spoil ya.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables and much, much more. JCar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after-sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
I'm Larry London from VOA Music Mix, bringing you news on the hour from around the world, plus music 24/7, from the latest hits to those classic favorites to jazz on Saturday mornings, plus much, much more. You can contact us by Googling Mainland TV or follow us on Facebook. Cheers from the team at Mainland Radio 1 and VOA Music Mix.
Nelson Tire Center. Great prices, great service. Buy your own Bryford trailer. All types, all sizes. See Colin Douglas for your tires and batteries.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Are you tired of endless reality shows? Would you prefer to watch captivating documentaries?
They have swallowed cars.
Exciting movies?
Go ahead, load up and shoot.
Music for the soul?
And if you think I ate your fish and chips, I did, you're mistaken.
Programming from around the world? Places to visit? Local news and views.
I'm Graham O'Brien and today's bulletin. Do you want to change the flag?
No, I don't want to change the flag.
Stay tuned to Mainland TV, your local station.
I'm Larry London from VOA Music Mix, bringing you news on the hour from around the world, plus music 24/7, from the latest hits to those classic favorites to jazz on Saturday mornings, plus much, much more. You can contact us by Googling Mainland TV or follow us on Facebook. Cheers from the team at Mainland Radio 1 and VOA Music Mix.
From Cresswell's on Market Street, we've fitted footwear for all seasons, all reasons. For summer times in the sounds, for solid support on the sidelines, for social events around town, for good times round the grapevines. That's why at Cresswell's we believe in fitting footwear correctly, so you get the best out of quality shoes and sandals and can then get the best out of life.
Cresswell Special Service, it's unique, helping keep Marlborough on its feet for over 60 years.
Hi, I'm John Crouch. I'm Crafer Crouch Construction. We're general contractors here. We specialise in drainage, earthworks, concrete, gravel supplies. We have our own mobile crushers. So for all your contract requirements, call us on 5783 475 Blenheim or in 5736 119 Picton.